So welcome to tip 24. This is a fun one today. A lot of people can find staying motivated with social media a real slog. So Ineke, help us through that, because I know I've definitely found content creation a slog from time to time. So what do you reckon?
100%. So yeah, a really common thing I see with my clients is that they've just got a mental block. They're like, I don't know what to post, and because I don't know what to post, I just can't find the motivation to actually sit down and figure it out. And then it's really easy to fall off that bandwagon, and then suddenly, before you know it, you haven't posted since December last year.
Yep.
And you can't really get started again. So how do you get started and stay motivated? So step number one, which is exactly what I did earlier this year, is partner with a content creator. So there's several reasons for this. One is accountability.
Yep.
If you've locked in a shoot,
Pretty hard to miss it, isn't it?
pretty hard to miss. You have to do all the organisation leading up to the shoot,
Yep.
but it will pay off in spades. So if you just put that on your own shoulders, then the chances are you're just going to let that fall off.
Yep.
Whereas if you've locked in a shoot, partnered with someone to help you create that content,
Yep.
then not only will that keep you accountable, but it will be so much fun.
For sure. And I think that accountability is worth its weight in gold. And even something I struggle with as a content creator, you would think, it must be easy for Tim to do it. But really, it's almost harder in a way, because I'm the one that does it for people. So then I can't really book myself in, because it still needs to be me turning up to do it. And then...
Yeah. Well, I would argue you have actually booked yourself in a few times in the
Have I?
the Three Tims videos.
Well, this is true.
Yeah.
This is true. And I've struggled to stay motivated with that, because it is me on my own, despite there being three Tims. They're not actually all real, believe it or not. But I think what I probably need to do, and I've had a chat to my sister about it, because she needs to create content for her business as well. And if we just make sure we do it on the same day, and it can be like, here's my idea for this, can you just hold the camera here while I do that?
100%, yeah.
We haven't started that yet, but I'm certain that person to keep me accountable is going to be massive. Yeah. So I think you did the right thing by calling me.
I did. Bundles. So I did one step further than that. I signed up for a 6-month bundle.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a lot of work to maintain that pace of one shoot a month, but it is by far the best thing that I've done for my business, and it makes sure that I keep on moving forward, because it's really easy to basically get busy or lose that motivation, and you don't just keep on progressing if you don't naturally have a huge amount of passion for creating content. Even I'm very passionate about creating content, but just having that shoot locked in means that I'm always going to have a plan in place. I'm always going to have fresh content, and then that makes it really fun to post too, because you're delivering a new reel for me every week, and we're working on the reels together, and that really, really, pardon the pun, really helps.
Yeah, good.
It's really good. But it does, and I think you and I definitely keep each other accountable, because we know we've got the shoots booked in, and we've got to work towards that. Yeah,
and it's actually, it's amazing how fast a month goes.
Yeah, it really is.
So and I guess that's where, like we've talked about in previous videos, where you can look back and go, oh my gosh, it's been 3 months since I posted, or it can happen that fast. So being on that monthly roster, it almost in a way can come around too quick.
Yeah.
But if you're not, then you will start to fall behind.
Definitely, yeah. And you'll be surprised how quickly you fall behind. I had a meeting with a wonderful client of mine before this shoot, and I asked their marketing manager how she's going with their social media, and she looked at me and she said, I just would really like some new content. And so having a shoot locked in will really help with motivation, whether it's you posting or one of your team posting. Yeah, fresh content helps a lot. So that's definitely tip number one.
Yeah, great. Well, solid. And that goes for all of you. You should all be giving me a call after this video.
Right. We'll hold you to it.
So staying motivated, it can be a daily struggle for some. Any other advice for people that might be struggling?
Absolutely. So my number 2 most important tip would be to create a plan. So create a content plan.
Yep.
And by that, I mean, if you have some structure to your posting, it's so much easier to post. It's like if you go to the supermarket without a shopping list, and you're wandering around the aisles and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know what to cook for dinner this week.
You get bamboozled.
Yeah, and you just think about your motivation in that moment. You're just going to be going off and buying other things that you shouldn't be buying, and you just don't, it's hard to stay on track.
Yeah.
So exactly the same goes for posting to social media. If you have a plan, it's kind of mindless to follow the plan.
Yep.
So yeah, that would be my next tip, is actually create a plan for your weekly or monthly posts in advance. And then each week, all you have to do is stick to the plan instead of having to start from scratch.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're ticking boxes rather than brainstorming every single time, because that the process is so much longer.
Mental load, absolutely.
Yeah. And let's be honest, it's probably not people's daily job to be doing all these things. We need to find a way of slotting it into day-to-day business rather than making it the sole business.
100%.
And is that sort of content pillar related, that links in together?
Yeah, so as we discussed, I think it was tip 21, content pillars, if you come up with some content pillars, they will be your best friends. And that is themes on which you can post. So if you have some content pillars, it's like having your shopping list organised, and you know exactly what you need to post. And so working with someone like me, I can help you set some content pillars that link back to your goals and that actually speak to your target audience. Or you can look up some resources online to help you create some content pillars. And yeah, so you're absolutely right. It is very much related to content pillars.
Yep. And searching, like seeing what other people are doing out there, searching on your Instagram or your TikTok or wherever you'd like to see your content, is that something you would recommend?
Absolutely. So last week we spoke about the idea of scrolling for inspo, and I highly recommend doing so. I actually make time to do that every day.
Right.
I have that on
with a limit? Do you give yourself a limit?
With a limit. I will show you on my, I'm just going to get my Todoist out and go, so tomorrow.
Don't mind Todoist now, another recommendation of yours.
Yeah, that's so true. Tomorrow, my task, walk dogs, stretch, 15 minutes engagement.
15 minutes.
So that's my 15 minutes of scrolling.
Yep.
It may end up being 5 minutes, it may end up being 30 minutes, but I actually have that on my to-do list because that way I'm making sure that I'm scrolling through my feed. Serves multiple purposes because I'm also engaging with everyone's content. But it also means that I'm highly likely to see some reels that then if I see a really good one, I'll save it and then use that for inspo later. Keeping
you up to date with trends and just what's sort of happening in that landscape. I'm sure that's sort of important for you to be aware of.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, some people out there might go, oh my gosh, I've never had to worry about this. I don't want to scroll through social media. This is the reality of the world that we live in. Business owners do need to be across it, either themselves or to pay someone else to do it for them. So it may sound frustrating, but this is the reality of business in 2024.
It is. There's no point denying it.
No, we're on the hamster wheel.
We're going to get T-shirts with hamsters running on wheels, I think.
Little schnauzers running on wheels.
Nice. Well, thanks very much. It's a good tip. I like it.